Okay, Hotel Zagora in Zagora. Wasn't a bad hotel.
Surprisingly enough, no insect screens on any of the windows. There just
Surprisingly
really
enough,
wasn't a lot of flies or
no
anything.
insects.
Of course, there was winter there.
Nice juxtaposition on these two shots of the poverty on the one side and across the street this luxury hotel.
Well, we don't know what the rooftops over there look like because we're actually looking down from our roof in these pictures, and we're backed right up onto a large hill.
Yeah. There's us having breakfast. And the #1 breakfast cheese in Morocco is? The Laughing Cow.
Yeah.
Good coffee. And so there's a little shop on the corner that actually sold turbans, so we all went and got turbans for the trip. So we'd look like proper Arabs.
There's the camels.
We heard them a lot sooner than we actually saw them. But yeah, they're looking very regal as they're sitting there waiting. And I'm up.
You were #1 up on the camel.
And it's a very tall.
So once they got us all up, Mohammed and Mohammed, our two guides, started leading us out of the town. Well, I think we were on the far side of town, so we actually snaked quite a way through town.
Yeah, it took us almost an hour.
To the other side.
Yeah.
Sort of fortified mini villages around the outside of the town.
Yeah.
And some of them are actually like farmers' homes.
Yeah.
But some are larger sort of collectives.
And that's one of the communal farm plots.
Yeah, and it's the irrigation is all they have these small little squares.
You know, I got drier and drier as we went south too, and less green stuff in the communal garden. So now we're out of the city.
Well, it depends on whether or not they're irrigating it or not.
It's true. There's Mohammed leading my camel, Shalaban.
He's Berber and has been working for quite a while.
Yeah, most of his family is still nomadic though, and they've all gone south for the
7 or 8 brothers and sisters?
Something like that.
Yeah. So we reached the outskirts of town, Amatsour, my camel, and we actually found that the 3 pack camels and Ibrahim, the other guide, were waiting there. And so we stopped and had lunch.
And that's the 2 faces of Paul. Mohammed would sit with us when we had our Berber whiskey, which was the mint tea and nuts, and we talked a little bit about Berber culture and his family and everything before we would eat our lunch. And there's Shalaban having his lunch.
They hobble them by just using their guide ropes to actually just tie the leg together like that. They don't seem to be disturbed by it at all.
And they can get up and down perfectly fine when they're hobbled. And here comes people food.
That's the this is the second course after the peanuts and the almonds.
Yeah. Now that plate in the middle was like fish and oranges and stuff. It was really, really nice.
Yeah. Lots of vegetables and stuff.
And then the chicken kebabs and the fresh baked bread. Everything was fresh baked bread, including the second night when they baked bread in the fire for us. That was really cool.
This is a ground melon. They don't eat them.
And that's a caravan camp from another excursion company.
And the bread ovens for the caravan.
Well, actually, he said they'll cook a whole goat in there. Oh, it's a fairly big oven.
And as we're sitting around here, this kid on a bike rode by going one way, and then half an hour rode back going the other.
Now, here we're getting ready to go to Tamagrut. One of the things I like to say about Tamagrut is they have a library there, a Quranic library. And we got to see some of the manuscripts that date back to the 11th century. Unfortunately, no photos were allowed. You can see the black smoke, and that we've discovered actually is where the pottery kilns are.
And they use the crushed olive pits to fire the clay. This is a school, actually.
And it was funny because all the kids wanted when we were old by were stilo,
stilo
pens. And of course, here we are going past the pottery shops, and they're famous for a green glaze, which Lisa really liked being a potter, and so
Lisa made us stop so she could shop and buy pottery.
Yeah, because she liked the green glaze, and she wanted green glaze pottery.
It made her happy.
There she is, very happy with her pots. This is Lala Kbira, and it's a shrine to a female saint, and this is a cemetery in the front. All those ridges are actually graves.
One of the neat things was actually I was taking pictures around the shrine. There's just a pair of sandals left in the book by the bush there.
Offerings are made at the shrine. Paul actually buried one of Sandra's tokens at the shrine, which was really cool.
It was like quiet.
Well, there's so very little traffic, especially at night on that road.
Yeah. They actually spread out the blankets and used the camel saddles to make backrests. Very comfortable.
Very comfortable. And they were actually burning palm fronds to get the fire going, and they drummed and they sang, and
it was very, very cool. And the stars were amazing out in the desert.
Phenomenal. That was the end of day 1, and day 2 started with us getting up at 6? Getting up to watch the sunrise.
And then I woke up the next morning, and I swear that I was swollen 1.5 inches. I couldn't believe. I was worried I wouldn't be able to ride the camel when I got up.
You know, and they have these excursions which are 3 weeks living with a tribe, and I would so love to do that. Ride camels all the time and just travel with the nomad tribe.
Hey, a picture of me taking a picture.
The art picture. Having breakfast, getting ready, watching things. Paul with his turban on already.
Instant coffee.
It was really good. Mila discovered that instant chocolate powder with her instant coffee powder was actually a very good combination. The bug. Actually, you can't really see it here, but it's very tall. He had really long legs, and he was quite high up. And those are holes of little tiny gecko-like lizards, and they're really fast. We couldn't get any pictures of them. There were like little dog prints everywhere in the morning, too. So I think there were foxes or something, he said, that come out at night. And we could hear them yipping foxes, in the distance.
I think they had a little sort of jumping mouse thing.
Yeah, but you could see those.
Yeah.
Maldives.
And
that's just the city I shot with the zoom. It just was cool because the Dray River's there, and you see the mist coming up off the river. Everywhere we went, there were roads and pathways that led off. And here's one of those roads that sort of goes off through the desert, and you can actually follow it at night because you can see the sets of white markers.
So that they reflect at night, and so
that's how they do the white markers. We passed through one oasis where there were about 3 carcasses scattered around. We called it the Oasis of Death. And there's some of the bones. One leg still had fur on it.
Yeah.
Looked like a goat leg. It was short.
Goat, donkey, who knows?
Yeah, maybe donkey. And then there's you can see the aqueduct that we're heading to in the far distance.
Yeah, this is an older aqueduct that's been replaced by an underground aqueduct, so they don't lose as much water from evaporation.
And like everything else in Morocco, it's left to decay.
Fall apart.
And there's the camels going underneath. There's my sweetie.
Some handsome guy there. Gee.
He is. I think Lisa's laughing at you.
Yeah, probably.
She actually had her headphones on the whole time, listening to international music.
This is us stopping for lunch. We actually are in a little grove of trees.
Shalaban hiding in the palm fronds. That's my moment.
Danute hiding in the palm fronds.
Nah, it's my moment of solitude.
The utterly lazy camel.
I just really liked the way he looked in that picture.
Both of them have their heads stretched.
Yeah.
I'm reminded of the film intro whenever I see that picture.
Jerry Bruckheimer.
That's it, yeah.
You can see how close we were actually to the main road, but there was hardly any traffic on there at all.
We're actually camped in the valley.
Between these 2 ridges of mountains.
So pretty much as soon as we got into the notch, it's actually a pass that the river runs through, a valley the river runs through.
Imi N Takat.
There's an old Berber Kasbah there. And
Mohammed said it was actually probably one of the first Berber cities.
Yeah.
Now the thing with the Berber cities is they weren't occupied year-round.
Yeah.
Very few people stayed there all year. Mostly they were just where the tribes would meet.
It's very cool, but apparently when they put the modern road through this section, they just knocked it. Anytime they had to move through an area that had part of the village there, they just knocked it all down with their front end loaders and whatever.
Yeah. And it's a tomb, and I believe there are 3 graves in there.
Yep.
And the nomads we were supposed to spend the evening with, weren't actually there because they'd all gone south because of the drought.
Unfortunately, there was some confusion.
I was a little sad. Mohammed looked confused. And there's just a shot of the Dray River. And some
I
of the
was
reeds.
kind of just glad to have a quiet night, nursing my poor butt.
And that's the end of day 2.